So today's talk is about super fast Jetpack Compose with Relay. So there's no doubt that Jetpack Compose already boosted the development life cycle and makes the Android developers can create the UI very fast and more efficiently. However, we still have some kind of problems that for some reason, if you are developing a new feature, you could have some kind of design mismatch. Because maybe the developers are not paying a lot of attention for fine details, because maybe 2 pixels right or 2 pixels left. We have a lot of problems regarding that. Also, if you are maybe working in Kanban or maybe Scrum or whatever, you may have like review column, or maybe on in the board, which will take two things. The first thing is the review the code itself, and the second thing is the UX review. And since we already maybe have some kind of mismatch so in the design, so it fails from the review, so it's back and forth. So also, changing designs is important because for some reason I think the businesses could decide that, okay, we need to change the design. Maybe you have the same model, the same data, but maybe if you have a portrait card, for example, we need it to have in a landscape mode. And this will keep you like creating new tickets and other stuff. So taking like a real example for that, suppose this is a Kanban board, and you starting this maybe ticket which is showing product and grade view, it's still in to-do sub. So the developer will take it and move it to progress, doing the stuff, and then we'll move it to in review, and after reviewing the view, it may fail as we mentioned, so it will go back for the in progress and back and forth. And maybe fortunately, after the second time, we can move it to the testing phase, and after that, it's done. But maybe the businesses, as we mentioned, could change that, and we need to change the UI. And in this case, we have to create a new ticket for redesigning, and we can name it like creating this kind of list with a version 2, for example, and this process could be like repeated a lot. And we can say that no worries because Relay saves your development life cycle time, even in the Kanban or any agile tool or agile methodology, by creating and updating your composable UI. So you don't have to create by your own. So for the topics for today, we have a lot of topics, but we're gonna move it fast for all of them, hopefully. So we need to know what is Relay, how it works, and get it started with Relay. UI packages, very important. Share UI packages with Android Studio and update UI packages, and content and interaction parameters. Design variants and releases. So for the first question, what is Relay? Relay is a tool that converts the Figma to a pixel-perfect Jetpack Compose. So there's no need now to create the composable functions by your own, because Relay can do it for you. So to get started with Relay in the development in general, you have to do 2 things, or to install 2 plugins. The first plugin is on Figma, and this is easily can be explored by going to the desktop or a website itself and go to the plugin and search for Relay, and you can install it. And for the other side, you have to install this plugin in Android Studio, and this is pretty easy, I think, for all the Android developers. You can find it in the plugins, search for it, and you can install it. To give like an access for the Android Studio to all the Figma designs, you have to give some kind of access token, and this can easily be done also by like creating a new token on Figma and paste it on the Android Studio, like in the plugin. You can open the plugin or the Relay settings. You can find it after installing this plugin on the Android Studio. You have the option to go to Relay settings and paste the token just to give access for the Android Studio to all the Figma designs. Actually, don't forget to add this plugin into your app or your module on the build.gradle. It's important just to make things work. And to make it like real and try to make it like more interactive and to understand it well, we will try to do this kind of demo. It's a demo like showing a pretty easy list, like grid view, and it's a master details page. So it's when you click on a card or in a specific list, you should have like this kind of details about the product you clicked. So the master list, as you can see, you could have like in the top, you have like a toolbar and also product card. For the details, you have the same product card, but it's in landscape mode, and details, text, and toolbar. But we have to care about something, which is important. Maybe this is one of the core of Relay, which is called UI package. And UI package is a piece of design that should be converted to a composable function. So suppose, as we mentioned, like an app bar or a toolbar. So this is considered as a piece of Figma design. And this piece of Figma design should be converted to a composable function. In that case, you have to create a UI package for each component you have in Figma. So for example, as we mentioned, the product card toolbar, for our example, we just showed like the previous slide. So product card, toolbar, details, and text, all these should be a UI packages to be converted to composable functions. So to be able to do that is pretty easy as well. If you open Figma, for example, as you can see on the screen, you have a bunch of components. And this is important because you have to ask the UI and UX designer in your company that to convert all the piece of Figma designs, maybe the toolbar or a button or whatever, to make it a component, because it's required to make it a component to create a UI package. So how to do a UI package in general? It's pretty easy. Just run the Relay on Figma, on Relay or for plugin on Relay. And when you click at any kind of component or a piece of design, for example, I clicked maybe here for the title or for the toolbar. So when you click on that, you will find the Create UI package already enabled and it's now clickable. So after clicking on the Create UI package, you will be asked to write summary about what is it, what you are trying to add. So in that case, you maybe, as I maybe wrote here, so add a new like toolbar or an app bar. And after that, you have to share with the developers. This is a button you have to share with the developers. And in that case, you will be in the last step for creating the UI package that you should write a version history, because for some reason you may have a lot of changes for the same component in the future. So instead of that, you should keep track with the versions in general. So you have maybe to write maybe AppWare has been added, version 1, for example, and if you have some other like updates in the future, you can have like this kind of versioning. So after creating the UI package, it's time now to share it to the Android developers on the Android Studio. So to do so, you have two options. On the Relay, on the plugin of the Relay on Figma, you have two options to share that. The first option is to maybe to press like Command L or Control L, and you will have a link on the clipboard. So this is the first option. The second option is to right-click on the specific component or a specific design, and you can choose like copy paste as and press the copy link. These are the two options. And now you have the link already on your clipboard, and it's time now to share to the Android Studio. So you open the Android Studio, and you will click on the new, and you will find like import UI packages, and you can paste the Figma source just generated from the Figma. After that, you will find like a new resource directory will be created for you if it's not created before. So it will contain the names of the components or UI packages generated as it is on Figma. So for example, here we have like an app bar, component text, and primary text, and maybe a lot. It's not like for a specific number of components. It's like infinite. After like you make sure that the components you already created, you can see it on the UI packages or UI package resource folder or UI resource directory, you have to build the project. And here's the magic, because if you build, you will find some new generated composable functions. It's done. And now we should, as we mentioned already, it's now like probably we have the composable function generated. And if you would like maybe to explore a lot, and maybe because maybe you are curious about the details of things, you can go to generated folder and you can explore the file. It's pretty easy and pretty like understandable, maybe composable functions. It's easy to understand. It's not like that complex. Also, it's important to keep track and see what are the UI packages already created before. And this can happen by checking the Figma design or the Figma plugin, Relay Figma plugin, and you find UI packages, and you will find the list of UI packages already created. Okay, so update UI package. This is also important because for some reason, as we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we mentioned that we may have some kind of changes while we are working on the product. This will create a new tickets and other stuff and time consuming. And for example, we have here maybe a toolbar, and this toolbar has a title or a white text. And we need to make it like a black instead of white. And this maybe we have maybe a little bit deeper changes. It's not like colors only. Maybe a lot of things can happen with the updating. So instead of like creating a new ticket for that, so what you have to do, if you already done or everything's done on the Figma design, what you have to do is to right-click on the UI package you have in Android Studio, and you have two options. The first option is you update UI package, or you can click on update all UI packages, but this is not like efficient because if you have a lot of changes in a lot of components, you can use it. But if you have a specific UI package, you can right-click on this package, and after that, it will update. So content interaction parameters is important as well because we need some kind of composable functions that are dynamic. We don't need it like a tab bar. Because, for example, if we are talking about a toolbar, we need it like we need a dynamic toolbar, just not to have a static text. So in that case, this is content interactions parameters exist. So you have the content parameters and the interaction parameters. The content parameters may be like text and image content, other stuff. Any content can be set on the specific UI package. And maybe you have interactions as well, which is the tab and double tab and long press or a long tab. So let's try a real use case because we are talking a lot. So it's good to have like some kind of implementation for that. So firstly, I will maybe check with you. Maybe this is a Figma design, and as you can see here, we have these kind of components already exist. So I will try to run the Figma plugin. And for the time of the presentation, I have already created the app bar and also the product description in the second screen, just to save a lot of time for this presentation. And our job today is to make this card, to try to create this code as a component and then try to use it on the project. So if you'd like to create a component, as we mentioned, we have to click on that, and you will find create UI packages already created or enabled. And in that case, you have to write the summary, and also you have to write to add your parameters. So in that case, I will say like added new product card. And for the parameters, we have a bunch of parameters, to be honest. So we have this name and price, and we have the favorite and then favorite button. Maybe the content of it maybe like should be filled and if it's favorite, and should be like unfilled if it's not. So we have a content image here, and we have another content image as well for the product. And we have also two interactions. The first one, if the user click on the favorite, and if the user click on the whole card. So let's start with the content. So if you would like to add, you can double click and click on the text itself. You will find text content. So you can say product name. And for this, we can name it product price. And we need this image content. So we can say favorite, for example, source. And for the product, we can say also, you can name it product image. It's fine. Okay, image, okay. Cool. I think we have now all the content. We need to switch to the interactions for the two handlers, the two tabs. The first one is if the user click on the favorite, so we have to add this parameter, and you can go to tab handler, and you can say on favorite tabbed. And for the whole product, we can also, yes, this one, and on product tabbed. Okay, So I think that's basically is the content and the interaction parameters. Now the next step is to share with the developer. So we have to write the version name, the version history. So we can say like added new card, version 1, for example, and click save. Okay, so now we already save it. So I will right click on the component, copy paste and copy link, and now we should move to the Android Studio. I have increased the font size just to make it like easy to read. And if you can, as you can see, we have already the UI packages contains the 2 predefined packages before. So now we have to add a new one. So we have to go to File, New, Import UI packages, and paste the file or the link we had. Just maybe wait a little bit for the UI package to be featured. Cool. So now we have a product name, product card already generated, and as you can see, we have the content parameters, and we have also the interactions parameters. So we got click create, and it's now downloading. Now we can find the product card already generated or already downloaded. We have now to build the project just to have these kind of changes on the generated folder. And maybe you can double check with reload from the disk just to make sure everything is up to date. And as also for the time of presentation, I have maybe created some kind of navigation and other stuff for the demo. So what we have to do only because we have a fake data already and we can use the product card directly. We don't need to create the whole logic behind that. So we have 2 screens. The first screen is the app screen, which contains, or we have the product list and we have the product details. So the first one, but maybe we can give a try to run it to see what's before adding the product card. And as you can see, it's like a normal, it's a very empty, it doesn't have anything. And also the app bar only exists, but we cannot see the product description already created because we cannot like navigate to the second screen already. So we should add first the product. So we're gonna add product card, exactly. And you can see the product card already created. And if you would like to check that, you can go to the generated folder and you can explore everything. Because as you can see here, all the parameters we already created from the tab handlers and for the content as well. So this is already created as we expect. So now we have already the product card. So we should fill the product card with the data. So product, maybe name, and already I have the fake data already generated, so it's good. Product price and product or favorite source. And I already using the coil, so I can use the image directly, already defined before. And now we're still missing the image of the product, so product image also. We can use, this is the image should be here because this is the image of the product. And for the favorite source, I already created a helper function that is called like get favorite, and you should pass only is it favorite or not, just to get the right or the proper image to be like set on the screen. So now we have all of this. We need the handlers because we already defined all the content. So the handlers is on product or on favorite tabbed. In that case, we can vice versa. If it's like favorite, we can make it like and favorite. So it's pretty easy and silly. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we can look favorite, which is Boolean equal the is favorite but not. And for the on product tabbed, we have to have, because we have a state hosting already, I already have an on item clicked, so I have to on item clicked, and I have to pass the product details just to have it on the next screen because we don't need to fetch a lot of things because we could move this data as a parameters to the next screen. So we have to pass the product itself and also if it's like already in favorite or not. So we're gonna pass it like that. So let's give it a try and see what's happening. Hopefully it works. Okay, perfect. So now, as you can see, we didn't create anything. The composable functions already work as expected. And as you can see, if you clicked, maybe you can scroll because this is a lazy column or lazy list. So if you click on that one, you can find that it changes. And if you click on it, you will not see the product because we haven't added yet on the other side, on the description. So at least we have now the product card. We can copy that card and paste it in here. And then instead of that, we have it like product. So we can replace any ed with a product. I'm sorry, I'm lazy for doing that. And for the ACE Fabric, we don't need them. For the own product tab, because we're already in the next screen, or in the details screen, we don't need the DD tab. And this is also like good thing on Relay that creates default values, so you don't need to like fill all the parameters. All the parameters can be optional, okay? So we can now check the details page after generating it. So when you click on that, okay, that's perfect. Now we have the product again, and also we have details on that. Cool. So going back. So I'm not sure if you observed the problem we have in this demo or not, but as you can see, maybe in the first screen, we have the toolbar with a back button, and with the second one with a back button, which doesn't make sense. You are in the starter screen, and you don't need a back button because there is nothing in the back stack. So we need to avoid this or to get rid of this problem. And to do this, like we have design variant concept, and if any one of the UI UX designer is here, I will this is relevant maybe for him. Design variant is very important because you can have the concept of different variation of the same component. So for example, here, as you can see on the screen, we have a button, for example, with an icon in the left-hand side, and maybe the same on the right-hand side, and maybe in our case, we have a toolbar. We need it once with a back button and another one without. So this is the same. It's like design variants. And this is already a powerful tool. It's already included in the Relay. So let's try to resolve this problem. And this will be resolved on the Figma first. So we have to go to Figma, and we need to change this, or we need to add a variant for this toolbar. So when you click on that, you have an option to add variant. And in that case, you have two variants, or two types, or shapes, or maybe flavors for this kind of toolbar. So as you can see, you will find like two variants already created at the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And you can maybe choose the first one, and maybe you can delete that. And we have now one without and one with a back button. So we can name it with a better names. We can say it like app bar default, because this is doesn't have any kind of back buttons. And this maybe we can name it like app bar with icon, for example. And now we have to share this. We have to save that. So we have to go to app bar. And now I have to share with the developer the same, but since we just already added, we only have to add the version history. So we need to have added new variant for app bar version 2. Cool. Now we can share with the developer. So we do the same thing previously and go to the Android Studio and you import packages and paste, and we will wait until it fetches the UI components. Cool. So now, as you can see, we have like two variants, two types. It's already updated because it exists already on our project. So we have this kind of changes or this variation. And we need to download these kind of UI packages and then build a project, just to have this kind of changes. And as a double check, we can reload from the screen, okay? And now we have to use it. And we should understand first how it works already, the design variants. It's pretty easy. They are using the enum as a type. So you can find here, if you go back now to the app bar, You check that, you will find something called design, and you can find app bar default, which is the name this is what we named it. It's app bar default, and if you check that, you will find an imam. It contains the default and with icon. So now what you have to do is a simple thing. It's that you have to go to the app or the product card on the screen here. This is the details page. We're going to start with the first one. So in that case, we need design. Define the design and design.default because this is the first screen. And for the next one is the details screen. So we have to also define the design, but in this case, we need it with an icon. So that's basically it. Let's give it a try and see if this works or not. Cool. So it works. So you have it now. We have the first screen without an icon, with a back button, without an icon, with a back button. And for the second one, we have it. So design variants already also, as we mentioned, already included in the relay. So that's perfect and solves a lot of problems. And you can imagine how many designs can be saved by using design variants and applied on the variants, applied them as a variant on your Android Studio. So cool. So for the releases, now Relay is in Alpha 0.3.7, and the last release was in June last month. And really, they are maybe doing a lot of work. Roughly like monthly releases, a lot of changes, a lot of fixing bugs, and a lot of added feature for each release. So I also, to sum up everything related to Relay, now we can have like a pixel perfect designs. It's already, you don't have to care about like the pixels and other stuff and maybe the batting. All of this already pixel perfect. Auto generate, as we already saw that we have the auto-generated pixel or this auto-generated Jetpack composable function. So it's a tool that you can use it maybe in your project. And easy integration, as you can see, it's like about like 2 plugins, and you copy a link and you paste it on the other plugin, maybe from Figma plugin to Android Studio plugin. Also, it uses the latest maybe and the good concepts of the Figma, which maybe designs variant, and also for the components concept in Figma. Also easy to adapt to changes because, as we mentioned, if you would like to change anything, you don't have to waste your time. You just update the UI package, and it will reflect automatically to your code. So you can also like explore these resources for just to have like more and more information and more deep dive about this tool, Relay. And things already, I think we on time. So if you have any questions, just like stop me anywhere. I will be today in DryCon and maybe for the next 2 days. And maybe if you have any question, we can stay back to the stage in the back of the hall. And also wishing you all a nice DroidCon. And yeah, thank you.